Wow. Shout out to our sponsors, Muscle Meds, for getting Generation Iron's muscle building product of the year with their carnivore beef protein isolate.
Yes, well-deserved carnivore. The best protein on the market. 23 grams of beef protein isolate in each scoop. Sugar-free, lactose-free, fat-free. Best protein on the market.
Yeah, I absolutely love this stuff. If you're looking to build muscle, get your carnivore and beef up today.
Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, FE. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. We're never tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the champ and the tramp, let the bomb blast.
All right, let's go.
My man, UFC Hall of Fame.
Very cool, bro.
How does that sound?
It was awesome, dude.
Dude, I can't tell you how pumped I am
had
for you.
No idea. For real, I really had no idea. And now, like, now I go back, I start thinking, like, oh, maybe,
Yeah.
But I didn't think so because, obviously, I was literally, flew to Toronto by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Had nobody with me.
Yeah.
I met a couple people up there. I know a guy up there, Kareem. We went out a couple dinner. I actually hooked up with Dana and Matt Serra, Din Thomas to do Looking for the Fight. I hung out with them for that on Friday.
You went to like an amateur fight?
Yeah, it's called Dana White Looking for a Fight.
No, I know that.
He goes in there and he actually picked two fighters to not to get into UFC, but to do a contender series. They're actually both 34, which is not typically. He's like great. I picked two 34-year-olds, But yeah, so I did that, and it was actually that night. Let me rewind that back a little bit. The beginning of Friday, I did the Q&A at the weigh-ins. Mm-hmm. Me, Sam Stout, and Mark Hominick did a Q&A.
Couple Canadian legends.
Yeah, Canadian legends, and it's good to see them. I haven't seen those guys in a while. Sam, we were always cool. Came up together. He was, I don't know where he came in around the same time.
He had some wars, man.
Yeah. Spencer Fisher. He had some, I think, 3 fights with Spencer Fisher that were phenomenal. Some of the best fights you could see. Our
boy Frankie Perez kind of
it was
solidified his career, didn't he? Didn't he stop fighting after Frankie or no? Frankie stopped fighting after Sam. That's right. Yeah. Anyway, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
And then Megan was on stage with us, and when I was talking to Megan, she said, she said, because remember I went out to Vegas, I did Year of the Fighter, which is like a documentary series, and I don't think it came out yet. She's like, oh, the Year of the Fighter, they're gonna show some clips about that, right? So I kind of thought, I was like, oh, okay, show a preview for that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I was wondering about that. I haven't seen nothing about it, this and that.
Yeah.
So then, whatever, I did the Dana White stuff, and this is Friday night. We get back kind of late. I'm in the hotel lobby. I go to grab a drink, and down there, I'm talking to some fans. This is some Big Frank. This dude's a fucking monster from South Africa, and he's there for obviously the Duplessis, but he lives in the States now. But we was talking to another gentleman was there, and he was like, "What are you doing in Toronto?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's close to. It was like an hour and a half flight. They asked me to be a guest fighter. He's like, they're gonna bring you to the Hall of Fame, and I'm like, nah, bro, no way. And I honestly didn't even think of it
until that point.
But even even when he was talking about it, I'm like, no, because it didn't seem right. Right. Nobody, I had no family there, no friend, nothing. Nobody, nobody with me. So I was like, no way they're doing it now.
Yeah.
And especially since. I honestly didn't. I didn't want. I'm not that guy. I never wanted to think it was gonna happen.
I know.
If it happened, it was cool. Obviously, I'm pumped. But I never wanted to think it was gonna happen. So that's how I set myself up mentally. So if anything, though, right, wouldn't happen in Jersey or they're coming to Atlantic City in March or something like that. So
Madison Square
there,
Garden.
I might be a little more suspect something. You know what I mean? But for this time. I did not think it was going to happen. So then when the night of the fight, when they put that on the screen, I'm like, at first I'm like, oh yeah, this is the preview for that. And then they kind of came, I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. And everyone's getting up, putting their cameras up, looking at it, all like the production. I'm like, oh damn, dude. And two, so Saturday I did a signing at Boston's Pizza in Toronto, which was awesome people. Literally, it was an hour and a half signing. I pretty much signed for like an hour and a half. Took pictures with an hour and a half. People waiting outside. It's minus degrees up there. Cold as shit. Very cool to fans. The fans obviously hungry to have a fight because they haven't been there in 5 years. And Canadian fans are some of the
hardcore.
Yeah, they're hardcore, dude. They're really into it. I think the loudest crowd I ever heard in my life was when GSP fought.
I remember you saying that.
Josh Koscheck in Montreal. That was probably the loudest I ever heard a crowd. So these people were humming for this fight, and I did that. Then came back, ate dinner. Then I go back to the arena at like 8 o'clock. I did another meet and greet with a couple fans, and then I had to go up to the DraftKings box, right? And I'm like up there, DraftKings box, and these guys are all asking me who I think's winning. They're talking about bets and this and that. And I'm like, oh, DraftKings. I'm like, oh, these are owners? Like, no, these are high rollers. And I guess how do you have to be a high roller? You got to lose like 250 G's.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm like, oh, they give you a free suite for 250 G's. How nice of them, And these dudes now, it's all coming to me like they're fucking degenerate gamblers. They're all like, "Who do you got?" Because I was like, "I got Strickland." They were like, "Oh shit, you got Strickland?" Because they must have bet on. No, I guess it worked out in the long run, but they bet on Duplessis,
Yeah.
Dude, but they're asking me to take shots. I'm like, all right. I was like, I'll do one. I had shots. I drink. Dude, I was a little lit, watching those fights. I was feeling it, and I had to go do some interviews.
That's awesome.
So no one gave me the heads up, but I was sweating my ass off too. If you know, they showed a picture of me with my head.
Honestly, because you're not an emotional guy at all. For a second, I was like, dude, he teared up. And I didn't realize you were just wiping sweat off.
I was literally sweating like crazy. A little nervous, I guess, but yeah, it was cool, man. Honestly, the feeling was reminiscent to going home with a win on fight week. You know what I mean? I haven't had that feeling in a while.
Like the trip home from Dubai?
Yeah, that. Just any fight week. Like, you wake up the next morning, you look at your phone, there's 8 million texts from people. I'm happy. You know what I mean? It's like job well done type feeling. That's why I had having a celebratory
I had said
cerveza.
That I was going to, not forever, but I was going to give up drinking for a while. But listen, because I'm your biggest fan, brother, it's an honor to share a beer with you. Congratulations. That's pretty amazing. Did a little research on it today because I didn't know exactly how many people. Do you know how many people are in the UFC Hall of Fame?
I don't.
19.
19?
You're 19.
Wow.
Yeah, 19. That's not many, bro. That's not many people. Do you have any idea of some of the names that are in there? I mean, you got to know some, right?
Yeah, I know some of them, for sure.
Obviously, Anderson Silva.
Randy.
Chuck,
Matt Hughes, BJ, Uriah. I think Don Fry's in there. Dan Henderson, maybe.
I don't think Dan Henderson's in there. No, I didn't see that name. You got a lot of them. Royce.
Frank Mir.
Royce Gracie.
Chuck Liddell, did I say that?
Chuck Liddell.
Tito, Rich Franklin.
Rich Franklin. That was the one that surprised me, and I'm a Rich Franklin
Tito's
fan.
in?
Tito's in, which is a little surprising because
it's beef with
the
Dana,
politics.
But there shouldn't be. There should be no beef.
No.
Anderson got in recently,
Tito
too.
should be. I just saw Rich Franklin, and I'm a Rich Franklin fan. I mean, that was the one that surprised me probably the most.
I think in the moment, like when he was the guy, he was like one of the first popular guys.
Yep.
When the UFC got popular, he was one of the first popular guys. The fact that he was as popular as he was made Anderson as good, as popular as he was. It's like, oh my God, he walked through Rich. Rich is supposedly this really good fighter. He walked through him not once. Oh my God, he did it again. So that definitely catapulted, I think, Anderson
Rich
to his
slept Chuck too, right? When Chuck's heyday, or
later on, not heyday, but
his heyday.
Chuck was on his way down.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, that he did.
Yeah, well, anyway.
He had his arm. His arm was, that's what I'm saying, his arm was broken.
Yes.
Chuck broke his arm with a kick.
That's right, with the kick. That's right.
And he still knocks out.
I remember that now, yep.
Yeah.
And as you're sitting up there with, Sam Stout and Mark Hominick, I hadn't seen either of those guys in so long, and immediately when I'm looking at, because when I was watching it today, I was like, that's the dude that had the war with Aldo, and I'm like, Mark Hominick, and then I was like, the hematoma, remember the hematoma on his head, dude, huge. crazy, and he fought through it. I don't think they stopped that fight for that.
That was in Toronto.
Yeah, and he fought through that.
He got through it. Yep,
crazy. But those guys are legendary fighters from Canada. for sure. George St. Pierre, probably the most well known. But
yeah, they asked me. They're asking like fan questions like your Mount Rushmore, and I'm like I can't really do I can't give you 4. I'll give you 5. You know what I mean? I guess I said, but I said what did I think I said? I said
if you had to pick a team to be on your
no, I said 5. It's just the 5 of the best. I think I said it's John Jones, George, Anderson, Habib, Demetrius Johnson.
I think I'm
those 5.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that.
And then they asked me, I think what was they 3? Your top 3 lightweights, and I was like, I'm not gonna pick myself.
Yeah.
But I said BJ, Habib, and Islam.
Habib for sure. How long was Habib's?
Nobody.
Was a relatively
nobody.
short career, right?
Yes. But I mean, nobody. The max times the lightweight title has been defended. It's 3.
3.
I did. I think BJ did. Did Benson do 3 times? Maybe. And now Islam's 3. So if he one more, he'll beat it.
Okay. Got a couple huge cards coming up. 299 is a huge card.
Dude,
300. 299 is. I'm like, how can they beat that with 300? 300.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
So,
right?
I've seen someone say it's just a different ball game too nowadays.
Yeah.
Like you think about it. What year was it when 200? Oh, 200 wasn't that long ago, right?
Was that Brock Lesnar?
Was that 18? 18?
Was that Brock?
Yeah, Brock Lesnar was on it, but he was on UFC 100 too. Brock was.
That was the one surrounded in a lot of controversy because what's his name? Mark Hunt actually got that overturned, didn't he? Did Mark Hunt lose on 200 to Brock, but it was overturned because he
I believe,
tested positive?
Something like that, yeah.
Or it was either he tested or he refused to test,
or
one or the other. Yeah, it was a big lawsuit with that, but regardless. So just give me your feelings, man. I mean, obviously you didn't realize you were going to be there. Your family wasn't there. I don't think Renee had any idea. Nobody had any. You would think they would have tipped somebody off, right?
Yeah, no, Ali didn't even know.
Nobody knew.
Nobody.
You go, and here's why I say this to you, Frankie, of all people, because you don't like the spotlight. You really don't. You're a pretty humble guy. You don't like, even when you retired, it was pretty low key. I mean, you didn't do the, hey, look at me and lay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but lay your gloves down in the ring and you didn't make a big to do. So for you, did you get to enjoy it, or was it you didn't like being in the limelight? Were you able to bask in it a little bit?
Yeah, right away taking it in is a lot. All those eyes are on you.
Yeah.
I was fucking sweating.
Yeah.
I really
didn't come through on camera. I couldn't see.
Yeah, I was happy. I was happy. I was so happy. Honestly, I didn't see the video really until it was hard to hear the video, crowd, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm taking it all in. I looked at the video later on, and that definitely got me a little I don't know, say emotional, but choked up. But
Sure.
I had those feelings going a little bit more so than in the moment there. Yeah, bro, it was awesome. I thought the video was amazing. John Anik too, the way he talks.
Love Anik.
You can't pick a better guy to talk about you in that moment. And yeah, dude, it's and all the messages from my peers. I try getting everybody. I can't get everybody back. Just I got so many messages, but I try getting some people back from people that I've trained with or people that I've fought. It means everything to me. I did John Anik's show today. I surprised Mark on there, so I jumped on it. He's like, hey, Mark doesn't know, but you want to call? We're doing. So I called in this morning. I was
Henry
doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's cool.
And where was I going with that? But yeah, I was saying, where was I going with that?
Well, there was an overall theme to it that's been mentioned countless times. I've mentioned it. They mentioned it there. You're a very well-respected fighter. Nobody really has a bad word to say about Frank Aker. That's got to mean a lot to you.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Never.
I just was always
even in Connor's heyday when he was shit-talking everybody and your name was in the hat to fight him. He didn't even really talk shit. And he talked shit about everybody.
Just because I don't know. I mean, I treat people with respect too.
Yeah.
I take I don't take myself too seriously, but I'm a moral person, I guess you could say, and people appreciate that, and you know what you get when you're dealing with me. Right. Yeah, and like I said, you treat people nice, people treat you nice back. That's how it usually goes. And in this sport, that's what I mean. Like, you know, like my peers giving me props and this and that. It's fucking what it's all about, dude. Those are the people that matter most, right? I mean, the fans too giving you love is feels amazing, but you know, you get it from your peers. You know, it's earned. Even the brass, you know, considering I'm one of those guys that, you know, the top 30 UFC fighters came out that list. To be a part of all that is, you know, like I was saying, that's what I was saying. And John Anik thing, like. You know, I remember doing an interview early in my career, I think before I had the title or maybe when I had the title, and they were like, you know, are you ever going to be satisfied? And I'm like, probably not. I'm that guy. I'll never be satisfied. And they're like, well, what do you want out of this sport? And I was like, I want to be the Michael Jordan of this shit. And, you know, I don't think I'm the Michael Jordan of this, not the best ever and all that, but I mean, like, to end up in the Hall of Fame and behold the title for, you know, for like I did, and you know, have the success across 3 weight classes, to get the recognition is nice, bro. It is, because I mean, dude, yeah, I put my heart and soul into this, and I walk, you know, my last couple fights didn't go to where I wanted them to go. I didn't get to leave myself in there and do all that, and this was cool. This was a good positive note to kind of walk away a little bit.
Had they gone your way and had you got the victories, you'd probably still be fighting now. Like, you'd be fighting till you're 60, bro.
Probably. I mean, honestly, yeah, you're right. And it took for me to have those outcomes for me to realize, okay, my time has come.
Doesn't it for I'm not going to say all, obviously it didn't happen for like Khabib and stuff, but for most of the greats, isn't that typically how it goes?
I mean, not always. It does. You know, I say I could have probably walked away after the Holloway fight, right? After the Holloway fight, you know, I made it back to the title at 35. You know, I think I was 38 at the time, right? Yeah, 38 maybe, 37, 38. I probably could have walked away, but then I wouldn't have had
answers to those questions.
No, I wouldn't have had the go down to 35.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
win a fight of the night. You know, that fight against Pedro, like that took a lot of heart. I came back from a hip replacement. Like, all those things. I know I didn't get as many wins down at 35 as I wanted. The fact that I did those things, like, that makes me not regret going down and having that part of my career. And plus, like, I love training, bro. I love this. I love that part of it. Like, a lot of people hate that part of it.
Yeah.
Listen, my body hurts, my body kills me, but I still fucking train. I grappled fucking 5 rounds today.
Absolutely. Just for people, not for you, because I'm sure you know these, but for our audience, let me read some of these stats, some of your stats. 7 hours and 57 minutes and 10 seconds of actual octagon time fighting. I mean, this is standing across from guys that want to kill you. You know, that's crazy. 8 fucking hours standing across from a man that's literally trying to take your head off.
Not a day's work. It's only a day's work if you think about it, right?
Yeah, 8 hours. Just shy. You punched out
the whole fucking day's work in.
You punched out early. You're second in fight of the night bonuses. You're number 7 in total strikes landed. 2,481 strikes landed.
Second?
7th.
Wait, in total strikes landed?
That's what I read today. I'll pull it up where I read it, but in
I don't
stats,
think so, bro.
maybe I read it. It's total strikes landed. It says you've landed 2,480
significant strikes.
It said total, but anyway, regardless, I may have that wrong. Let me keep going here. Number 6 in takedowns, 73.
6? I thought I was 3, bro.
Am I ruining this for you?
Listen,
maybe I read some old stats here. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe people caught up and I haven't been watching.
I'll pull it up.
I don't care about stats.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I know you don't. I said you would know these, but people out there, you got second in fight of the night bonus, which was 11, right? 11 decision wins. Number 6 in takedowns landed. I said that. Number 7 in top position time, 1 hour and 32 minutes. Crazy. I mean, your
wish I
stats
was on top of you for an hour and 30 minutes.
You couldn't just get. You want to get one more minute in there? But yeah, no, man, it was amazing to see, and I talked to you on your way to the Toronto airport, and I had no clue. You know what I mean? I'm like, they wouldn't do it in Toronto. You know what I mean? But it's kind of
That's what they did, eh?
yeah, that's what I did, eh? Yeah, that was Australian.
You made it Australian.
I'm proud of you, man. Very proud of you.
Thank
I think
it's fun. I definitely have a smile on my face. I've been having a smile on my face the past couple of days. It's cool.
You know who you never forgot though? When every fight you ever had, you always shouted out your hometown, bro, and that was so cool.
Baby,
always shouted out where you're from, you know, and that's so cool.
You know how like people say NJ all day?
Yeah. What
can we say? TR all the way.
Yeah, there you go.
No, TR, let's go far.
Oh God, what else I got for you? And they might have asked you this there because I watched. You were busy in Toronto.
Yeah.
Is there and maybe they did ask. Forgive me if they did. Is there any fight you wish you could get back? You could run it back. Obviously, it would be one of your losses. But what's the one? If you could think of one that you would want to run back,
like right now, or like have an opportunity. Again, whatever. Obviously, it's not going to happen. But
any weight class.
Honestly, I would say like fucking Sandhagen. Man, we never even fought. You know, we didn't get a chance with that. You know, you're even this Gutierrez guy. You know, didn't really
get going. Yeah.
Get it going at all.
Yep.
It's like those would have been better to have, or those would have been nice to have another opportunity at. But yeah.
Yep. Just because the fight really.
Yeah, just because I never got really. Didn't happen.
Yeah,
I mean, especially the Sandhagen man. Shit.
That makes sense. I didn't know how you were going to answer that. I didn't know if you were going to, one of your wars with Aldo or Benson or whatever, but that does make sense because you didn't even get to showcase anything. So, yeah, I get that. For sure.
And did you watch the fights? You said you watched the highlights.
I had my kids, bro, so I
watched the lowlights.
I don't.
No, it's all right, buddy. It's okay. It's okay.
So 7 guys from Canada all lost. That's crazy.
7 dwarves.
Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah, dude. The guy Mike Mallet, he's pretty good too, and he was having his way against Neil Magny, and Neil Magny found the way to get
round
it done,
3,
bro.
right? Got it done. Yeah. So explain to me though. I only saw the highlights, but there was a Canadian fighter that I don't know if Bruce Buffer messed up, the judges messed up, but they said
Alan
he won.
Joban. No, I'm sorry.
No, not Joban.
No, Jourdain or something. Jourdain.
Yeah.
Something Jourdain, right?
So that was a Bruce Buffer mess up? He just read it wrong, or the
either that is something. Yeah. No, I think he said. What was the names? It was.
I hadn't heard of them. I didn't know.
No, it was Jourdain, and then what was the other guy's name?
Well, the names weren't close. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Well, no, it just sounded like it was something. He said. Who did he fight, dude? Who did the guy fight?
Forget, but it was Cormier that said no. Wasn't it Cormier that was in the ring that said no?
Someone heard it wrong.
They got it wrong. They got it wrong.
They heard it wrong. Actually, I don't know if Bruce said it wrong. I think they heard it wrong. It sounded a lot alike. You know.
Oh, was that
who did he fight?
I don't recall, but anyway, that's rare. I remember Dana saying, that's rare for Bruce Buffer to mess up. Bruce's been doing this forever.
Again, I don't know. I was there, so
right.
Where was I? That's when I was up in the suite, actually.
There was, I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but there was a little back and forth with Strickland and with Dana, with the media kind of baiting those guys.
You ask a question that you know the answer you're going to get to. You're going to get from a guy.
Exactly.
And then you're going to complain about the answer he gives.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. And what kind of question is that? And when we're talking about cage fighting, you're asking a cage fighter or something, a guy that fights in a cage, and you know he's a wild guy, and how you know his beliefs. You were looking for that response. You got exactly what you wanted from that guy. You were just trying to stir the pot and cause trouble.
He was baiting.
So that person is just looking for a fucking. And then that person put something on Twitter and turn the comments off. If you have so much support, why'd you turn the fucking comments off?
Yeah.
You know?
And he's beloved. Strickland's beloved in Canada.
Yeah, no,
you know?
Yeah.
But I thought what Dana answered the other reporter kind of had a strong point too. He's like, Pena, right? She's gay. She was up here on the stage. She doesn't give a shit what Strickland says. She doesn't care. It's freedom of speech.
Pena or Nunes? Pena
no.
was there?
Wasn't
there, I don't think.
Nunes.
Nunes.
Nunes didn't fight.
She was there though.
She was there. Who was the two girls that fought? They were both.
Oh, Raquel Pennington.
Raquel Pennington.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
Raquel
yeah,
Pennington.
yeah.
But he said, "Do you think Raquel gives a shit?"
Yeah,
What do you
Raquel
say?
said, "Oh, we can learn from each other." That's what she said.
Yeah.
Listen, and the stuff Strickland says, I don't even think he really believes everything he says. You know, like, oh, if I had a kid, I would disown it. I don't, a gay kid. I don't really think if he really thought about that. I don't know. Maybe he would. Maybe.
You think he just does it to poke the bear?
Yes, I think he knows his audience a little bit, and he is fucking crazy. He's legitimately a little crazy, but he leans into it a little bit, as he should maybe. And dude, a lot of shit he says, he's a little rough around the edges. I don't think it's all wrong what he says.
Well, I like that he went at the one guy and said, "Who'd you vote for?
Yeah,
Did you support freezing people's bank accounts and stuff?" So I was down with that.
I don't know I believe it was a different journalist, but says to and I say the word journalist loosely.
Yeah.
Said to Dana,
there are no credentials required.
Right.
For that.
He said to Dana, I know you put a long leash on your fighters, but when do you think you'll reel it in with the LGBTQ? He's like, leash? What do you mean leash? He's like, I don't put any leash on my fighters. He's like, this is freedom. We do freedom here. What's up, guys? Make sure you find and follow us on Rumble. We're really trying to push the Rumble. It's got a great platform. I think you really like us on there. At Champion and Tramp. Make sure you follow us.
Let's get ready to
Rumble, young man, Rumble. I'm not going to tell you what to say.
You have to remember, though, they're in Canada. They're in a different country where they don't have freedom of speech. You can be jailed in Canada for saying certain things.
Yeah, but even though you're not a citizen there?
No, I'm saying I think the Americans that were there are probably fine. I don't know that to be a fact.
People were saying they're going to fuck with them at customs. Bro, why are customs agents just assholes, dude? Like, not always, but like this one guy, like, dude.
I think they
He's like, here, look at the thing. What are you here for? I was like, I'm here for UFC fights. You have any claim? No. Just hands me my shit. Why, bro? Like, where you gonna? What the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
You know?
Honestly, that doesn't bother me though. I don't care about
whatever. He didn't give me
people being short with me. It's
no. He kind of had an attitude though.
Yeah. They all
like do. I was bothering him. Like, dude, this is your job, bro.
As long as you push me through.
I think it's an American
really quick,
guy though.
I don't care.
I think those are American guys too on that side.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but I do agree with you. You're talking about the custom guys, plus the TSA.
This is in Canada. This is in Canada, but I think they do it before you get to Newark. So they did it in Canada, but I think they're American guys.
Probably the volume of people they got to deal with, you know what I mean, and the bullshit they got to put up with. But I guess the answer to that is get a different job if you can't deal with it. But would you want to do that job? Deal with literally thousands of people every day? I wouldn't. That'd be the last job I'd want to have.
I don't know, man. I mean. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that job. That's the thing.
Right.
But if that was my job, I wouldn't fucking be an asshole. I wouldn't.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I mean, maybe on some days you might.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Some days you might.
I'd probably be a dick.
I don't think I would be.
Some days I would be a dick.
Because imagine you're being a dick in that job. It's like you're gonna be miserable all day.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be trying to all right, how can I have fun? How can I make this fun? That's what I would do. Right? Let me fuck with these people.
Yeah.
You know, like, sir, we found fucking,
your dildo.
We found 10 dildos.
You ever
in your
seen
bag.
that? By the way, friends that always like
put dildos.
They'll
and
turn
shit?
it on and put it in their buddy's bag or whatever.
Yeah,
it's hysterical.
Oh, that's silly. Alex Pajero was on the flight with me.
Get out of here, was he?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
His coach actually, one of his coaches has a school in Newark. Harrison.
So that's what.
So they flew out of they flew out of Newark.
I got you. Did you get to talk to him at all?
Well, he don't speak English, but we took a picture together and stuff.
Huge,
he's cool.
Huge dude, right?
He's fucking big, bro.
Monster.
He's about as big as you.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
I mean, he's not his weight. Maybe probably doesn't weigh as much, but he's
not fat. Big. Also, he's pretty lean.
Yeah, but he's fucking big, dude.
Yeah, he's dangerous. Dangerous.
Who else? Yeah, Matt Serra, bro. We're talking to Matt. He's coming back on. We're gonna get him booked on.
Oh, right? Awesome! I love Matt Serra.
Yeah, he's the best.
I was thinking about this, right? So it's sort of passing of the torches now. Matt Serra is also inducted into the Hall of Fame, right? You're the newest member of the Hall of Fame. How cool would it be? Because you talked about it. I saw you do an interview. You're like, now it's about my kids, and I'm going to be coaching, and I want to pass it on to the next generation. How cool would that be? The next phase of your life to be at a BJJ match with one of your students and one of Matt's students, and you guys are coaching together. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool as shit.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Matt about the school because obviously he's been in business for
forever,
a long
yeah.
time. He's he's great.
He's got an affiliate school right here, so yeah. Madame, isn't that his?
Yeah. Well, it's called the Academy now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't know if he's still affiliated with them. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. But it was. I know it was.
Yes, it was. Yep. He would come down here too.
Yep.
He's a good dude, Matt. One of the best. One of the best. Man.
One of my favorite podcasts.
We were sitting next to each other doing the looking for a fight, and bro, I'm just laughing my ass off.
Yeah. He's hysterical.
He's so funny.
He's hysterical. A very unique personality. But
his wife is fighting.
Oh, really?
His wife has a fight. She did a couple
MMA?
Muay Thai fights, MMA fight.
Oh, wow.
And he's showing me videos. His 15-year-old daughter is her training partner.
Get out of
Giving
here.
her work, dude.
Get out of
here.
here.
Man, it's so fucking cool, bro.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So cool.
But think about that. I mean, that potentially could happen, right? Couldn't that happen? Couldn't you be at a Naga tournament with one of your students and Matt Sarah be there?
Absolutely.
And you guys are actually I mean, that would literally be the next phase of your life.
Yeah,
It'd be
I gotta step my game up to go
against that guy. Yeah, he's pretty good. But one of my favorite interviews ever. That guy is just so. I think, and to date, I think it was our longest interview. I mean, that dude was here for like 4 hours.
Man,
It was great. Love Matt
Just a
Sarah.
genuine dude, bro.
Just a funny dude too. Hysterical dude. Yeah, man. So, what else I got for you, Frank? I wrote some stuff down.
Let me hear it. Andrew, can I grab another cerveza?
Oh,
por favor?
something that I think touched on like one time is the fact that you tried out for the Ultimate Fighter 5.
Correct, the Mundo.
I didn't realize. I looked at the people that were on
roster?
The roster. Obviously, there was a lot of people on that roster, but Gray Maynard being one of them, Joe Lowe's on, right? Nate Diaz being on that roster. Corey Hill. The story of Corey Hill is an interesting story. I mean, you know the story, right? Obviously died in 2015 from pneumonia.
Yeah.
And he had a lung transplant. They tried to,
I didn't know about that.
yeah,
they did talk about that.
They tried to save him. Here's the crazy part about that story, right? The UFC made an announcement, right? So, condolences, essentially, post, I guess, about, we're so sorry one of our fighters has lost his life. And the media, I guess, went to his wife to interview her, and she said, no, he's still alive. After the UFC. No, he had to be passed. I don't know why she said that, but yeah, there's an article that says they interviewed her after the UFC made the announcement. She said, no, he's still fighting. We need your prayers or whatever. I mean, isn't that a little strange?
Oh, maybe she wanted to. Did she want the,
I don't know. But that was 2015,
yeah,
right?
Sad.
You remember the leg break with him?
I do remember that. Yeah.
The guy,
that was the first one in the UFC to break the leg like that.
That was well before Anderson, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
and it was probably the worst because if you watched it, if you remember, his leg wrapped around.
Yeah.
It literally kept going and wrapped around. I googled it because I couldn't remember. Dale Hart, kind of a nobody, right? No name, right? That I wouldn't remember the name, but he's from Bangor, Maine, where I'm from.
Wow,
crazy,
definitely
right?
Nobody.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, I want to get your take on this. I don't think it's happening, and I'm pretty sure you're going to say the same thing, but was pretty heavily rumored that Khabib might be returning for UFC 300. He's not. He said he's not, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I just don't think he's going to break that word.
Right. Yeah.
There's so many rumors around 300 that Brock was going to come back and fight DC, right, or something.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
No, was it DC? Who was it?
Jim Miller.
Oh, yeah. No, but then there was GSP was going to come back, maybe fight Diaz.
Yeah.
None of that's true.
No, I didn't hear the Brock thing. I heard the Khabib thing a bunch of times, but can we talk briefly about, obviously everybody said, what's your next step? You talk about your gym. I mean, that's got to be opening very soon, no?
Not very soon. I mean, I got to do the build out still and everything,
Okay.
So, yeah, it's
got some
we're in the process, months away, I guess.
Okay. All right. So my son, Grayson, who's 7, who obviously is friends with your sons, or your family, I should say, he just switched to Dante's academy. So I'm thinking,
I talked to Dante today.
We can get him in both, it'd be great, because Dante's a little bit of a ride for me. I love Dante, but you're right here. So it'd be cool on the weekends. He's there, and during the week when he's at his mom's, he's at Dante's. It's like
perfect.
Double dipping, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be great.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. Yeah, it's just I thought we would. I thought it'd be open by now.
Yeah,
so.
I know you did, but there's a lot of.
Yeah, unknown shit.
Yeah,
You know that
yeah.
you're gonna come across.
It'll be open soon
I'm
enough.
sure there'll even be a couple more
hiccups. Yeah.
hiccups, I guess. And but we're there. It's gonna happen. It's inevitable at this point.
You're on the cusp for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What else I got here for you, Franklin? Sorry, I wrote a few things down today. Oh, of that list of the other 18 inductees, who do you find out of that list of obviously iconic fighters that is most inspirational to you of all those guys?
Who's all 18 of them?
We listed a lot. Khabib being one of them, Cormier being one of them, Chuck Liddell.
Inspirational?
Yeah, who do you find to be most inspirational of the other guys that are in there? I could name them all if you want their names.
I mean, I would say Hoist probably.
Yeah,
just because of how he did it. You know, the little guy. I mean, he literally. Listen, it was going on in Japan. It was going on in Brazil. This and that. But he brought it to the mainstream of American eyes. You know, and literally revolutionized martial arts. You know, and granted, his family did it beforehand and this and that. But he was the guy that they picked.
Yep.
It all started with him.
Yeah,
so yeah,
I could see that because you obviously were not undersized, but you were.
Yeah,
no,
but yeah, I mean, whatever. I didn't even come from jiu-jitsu or anything. You know,
right.
You would think, and like for me, growing up though, inspirational like that, like Randy Couture, definitely. Matt Hughes, definitely, because like those are wrestlers, and I'm like, especially during college, we would get together. Like that was when Randy was fighting Tito, and I remember Randy spanking him. I'm like, wow, yeah, you know.
Yeah,
but Tito was even a wrestler too, though. You know,
Yep.
You look up to those guys.
Yeah, where do you define your career as evolving into better striking? I'm really using striking more so because your early fights, definitely you were showcasing your wrestling, and then along came Sean Shirk, and who's a dangerous dude standing up, and you stood and banged with that dude, and he's a monster. I remember being nervous because they showed him working out prior to the fight or whatever.
Face mask and
bro,
shit, yeah.
How hard he would hit the bag. I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? I'm in my head. I'm like, Frankie's just got to dump him, pick him up and dump him on his back, and
he was shorter than me, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe, and he was a monster.
Well, he was as wide as he was tall.
Yeah, he was a monster.
He was an absolute monster.
It's kind of funny actually.
Where do you think in your career you really your confidence was established well enough in your hands to not have to revert back to wrestling, although you always had it, obviously, and you were comfortable. That's kind of
boxing gym.
In the boxing, not with an opponent in the UFC.
No, I mean, yeah. Well, Shirk is the one where I couldn't. I knew takedowns were going to be hard on him, so I knew I had to outbox him, and I didn't outslug him.
Yeah.
He was big and he weighed more than me. If I tried slugging with him, I still think I would have done all right, but I don't know, but I was in and out.
Well, listen, he had a similar build.
Didn't get hit.
Similar build, similar style. Obviously, later in your career, Chad Mendez.
Oh yeah,
Chad Mendez,
yeah.
And you cracked Chad Mendez and landed.
Yeah,
I remember you saying after the fight, you did an interview, and you said, "My coach always said, just be first, and you landed just before he landed.
Yeah.
So it dropped him. And I'm a Chad Mendez fan. He's a great dude, but yeah.
But yes, with that.
Yep, that's where I would have said. I was curious. I didn't want to. I should have just let you answer without saying that. But that's the Sean Shirk fight is where I remember. Like, God damn,
what a boxing match!
Frankie got some hands
in the gym against a boxer. It's kind of like the one day we went to. It was Goss and Goss. It's a gym and it's been around forever in Trenton, and sparring some kid, and Mark said he was watching the kid warm up before, and he's like, fuck. He's in his mind, he's like, damn, if Frankie don't make some adjustments, he's about to get cleaned up. And I made those adjustments, awesome. And like, dude, I'm a wrestler, bro. We're good in the gym with a legit boxer.
Yeah.
And I made those adjustments and did well, and that's when I was like, all right, I could do this.
That's awesome. That's awesome. When did Mark start? When did he become your boxing coach?
Pretty much in 2005, went like, I think before I had my very first fight, I may have even worked. No, I don't think I worked with him until after my very first fight.
When you say very first fight, UFC or the New York fight?
The New York fight.
Oh, wow.
Fight.
Oh, see,
I think right after him, I started work. Right after that fight, I started work on Mark.
Okay. Did he have any other students at the time, or just you?
No, I was the first guy
You were
he
the
ever
first
held
guy.
pads for.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
How that?
He never held pads for anybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd you find him?
Him and Steve are kind of related. Well, it's related through marriage.
Okay.
Steve's cousin is married to her cousin.
And
Something like
Mark was a Army amateur boxer?
He was.
Army
yeah. Golden
amateur.
Glove,
Yep.
Well, that European champion.
Well, he certainly built a hell of a... I mean, and the guy has a normal... he has a career. He owns a pizzeria, so it's not like he just does coaching, you know what I mean? But he's got a hell of a roster under him now.
Yeah. Well, he don't coach anymore, actually.
Oh, really?
I mean, listen, he coaches Eddie.
Yeah.
Does Eddie. Corey will come back.
I thought Cody might be coming back. No?
Cody?
Didn't you say Cody might be coming back out
Corey.
to train? No, Corey, but I thought you said Cody might be coming back out now.
No, I don't think so. Corey's going to come back.
Okay.
We'll do Corey. And I know Caitlin's fighting soon, but I don't know if
Yes.
he's doing Caitlin or not.
Yeah.
When is she fighting? Is she
She's fighting,
299?
I think she's 299, Macy Barber, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if he's helping Caitlin right now. She's been she was in Colorado recently.
Oh, really? That's where Macy
Training
Barber...
in Colorado,
Macy Barber's from Colorado.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why for the where is that fight? 299. High elevation?
Don't know. Not sure. Could look it up. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Regardless, I think she did an interview not too long ago where she said she's looking to maybe get one more run at it and then wants to start a family. I think I saw.
Yeah. I'm sure she's getting there, Getting to that point.
Again, just random questions for you that I
ahead,
think
buddy.
might be interesting. When you were fighting, I know you're a loyal dude. You're a very loyal dude. Can you give me a list of guys that you would not fight no matter what the payday was? I mean, I know there's some guys on the list. Obviously, some guys are out of your weight class. Corey Anderson, you would never fight, but different weight class. Cody, I remember one time you told me I wouldn't fight him.
Yeah, at that point.
Not because you were scared to fight him, because you're close to him,
Yeah, once we were training together, I mean,
Yep.
And
Anybody else on that list?
and especially where it was in my career, there's no need
again,
for Marlon. I would never
Marlon,
fought,
Edson, not that it's weight class.
we were a different weight. It all worked
Right.
out, so
Right.
I never really had to cross that with anybody. Me and Eddie, obviously Eddie ain't gonna fight Eddie,
Yeah.
But we were, whenever like me and Eddie were in the same. Me and Eddie. I was the UFC champion. He was the Bellator champion. We used to train together. Man,
Isn't that crazy?
It's fucking sick, dude.
That's
Yeah.
sick, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
Eddie's doing his thing over in bare knuckle, looking good. I mean, dude, that we obviously talked about it right after, but that fight, had he not broke his orbital, bro, he looked so good against
did,
Mike
man.
Perry. He
Hands
looked so good.
really good.
Mike Perry looked great too, but Mike Perry's just a fucking dog. But his face was busted up too, bad.
Yeah.
But Eddie looked great, man. I hope to see him keep fighting over there. You think Eddie will retire anytime soon from fighting completely?
Oh, I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah.
Sooner than later,
He's
but I don't know
he's
how
a smart guy. He's
smart guy. He's definitely a business savvy. He's
Yes.
always been.
Yeah.
People don't know. Even like back in the day when you used to have to sell your tickets for your fights, like we all sold our own tickets. Like he used to have tickets on him at all times.
No shit.
Selling always.
That's awesome.
He always sold the most tickets.
Did he really?
Always.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, we kind of briefly touched on Dana's back and forth with the journalist, reporter, whatever you would call him, and obviously we talked about Sean Strickland going back forth. What is your take on that? I mean, obviously they were in Canada, right? So it's a different country, different. Don't have the First Amendment up there, but I thought they both handled that beautifully. That back and forth. Strickland, I think, was totally baited, totally set up, right?
Yeah.
Dana, I don't know if he was
Even
set
Dana
up.
was set up. Like,
yeah.
I mean, not set up. Yeah, not set up, but I mean, like, why? Like, what is this fixation on these topics? Like, we're cage fighters, bro. Right? Well, no, but I just don't get it. Like, why do you bring this conversation to us? You really want to know what we think?
Right.
Like, why does it give a... if you really want to do what you want to do and you're going to do what you're going to do, and he's an ally, that guy's, I'm an ally, then why the fuck are you bringing up some negative comments to your ally people? Why, to point a finger and try to paint this guy as the bad guy?
Right.
He don't give a fuck. He don't care he's the bad guy. He believes in what he believes in. And if you could have that opinion, someone else can have the opposite opinion.
Right.
And that's just what it is. And these motherfuckers want to stir the pot all the time. And that's what I'm sick of it.
Yep.
A lot of these journalists, not all of them. There's definitely really good journalists in MMA.
Yep.
And people like that, give them a bad name.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think you see it as much. It certainly happens here, but I think because it was in Canada, they were a little more because they don't have the same freedoms we have here. It was more of a setup questions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But do you think, obviously, Dana's got his day where he's going to retire one day. Do you think that the next guy is going to go to, I don't want to say go to bat, but allow his fighters to have the same freedom that Dana does?
I don't know. I think Dana's one of a kind.
I do too. And it's like the last sport where you can actually say whatever you want.
What's on your
It's the
mind.
last sport. Can you think of one that's like that? Where you don't get silenced?
I'm
and you
just
don't
wondering, though, because listen to this. Money's always the bottom line, right? And in 3 to 5 months, they're up. Dana, like, if Dana don't give a fuck, that's what not
He
Dana.
doesn't
I'm not
give a
saying
fuck,
Dana,
yeah.
but the owners of the UFC and WWE, TKO, whatever it is called now, they're up. Well, at least the UFC is up for a TV deal, right? In 3-4 months, they're I guess this in 24, their deal is up with ESPN. So if ESPN comes to the table and it's like, well, they're gonna get this deal's gonna be worth a lot more now. Definitely worth a lot more. Now, that's, UFC's blown up so much since the last deal. Is ESPN gonna be like, okay, we'll give you this, but we need to put some reins on Dana because he's too fucking volatile and this and that. They may say bottom dollar, Dana. Sorry, you can't say this and say that. Then it's like, I'm fucking gone. Then I feel like Dana will stay loyal to himself. He's not gonna budge for money because he's made his money, and I just don't think he's that type of guy. That could happen, I think.
Right, and the next,
I hope not.
The next guy's
But
gonna
will it hurt the viewership of because I think the people that are into MMA are like-minded people like us, and they don't want to see that shit. And they love the fact that Dana is the way he is.
Right. I agree, 100%. But it's scary because the next guy probably is not gonna be. You know what I mean?
No, because Dana's like I said, Dana's one of a kind, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
he really is. He truly believes in the values and liberties that we have here.
I mean,
in
Hunter.
America.
I know Hunter is the number 2. I don't know if he will be the guy to take Dana's spot. But he's a good guy. He's one of the good guys, I'd say.
Hunter's how old is Hunter?
He's younger than me.
Oh, so then he could be potentially. Yeah. When you said a lot of people that are fans are like-minded, I mean, you take Joe Rogan. He's a believer in free speech. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? He's one of the biggest, and he's probably got the biggest voice.
He does. He does, but it's still crazy. Okay, there's 350 million people in America, and they say, and Joe Rogan has the most listened to podcast in the world. 11 million people listen.
Well, listen, I can remember, obviously, in the Jersey Shore heyday, where 10 million viewers was fucking huge. Those were huge numbers, you know what I mean? Huge numbers. Now, I think, because the market is so saturated now, especially cable TV, no cable TV shows gets anywhere near that number now.
So you're saying for a podcast that's crazy then?
I'm saying for a podcast, I would think a TV show would be more popular than if you go back to, I'd have to have Andrew pull it up, like Seinfeld days and Friends days. There wasn't as much to choose from back then.
Right.
Now there's so much saturation. So those shows you'll never see those numbers again ever.
Right.
Ever. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think 11 million for a podcast is huge. Most people don't.
But I know.
A lot of people don't even know what podcasts are.
I don't know if that's probably American listeners, you think?
I don't know. I would think it's.
We'll just say it's American listeners, though. But, still, it's only. What's the percentage of people that are listening?
Right, you're going to ask me to do math?
What's
If you're saying just America, this is 350 million people,
so
and you're getting 10 million?
11 million.
Will be, it's what? It's only like 4% or something, right, of America?
Less. Yeah. That's what I mean. So, like, yo, 4% of America is hearing the truth. And whatever, maybe Joe Rogan's not 100% the truth, but it's common sense. Like, he usually has a lot of people on that have common sense. You get to see both
sides.
Sometimes both sides of the story, you know. But it's rational people. He doesn't usually have on. Every once in a while, have someone that's irrational, but most of the people he has on is rational. So I'm kind of just saying, only 4% of the country is really listening to what's going on. Like, everyone else is listening to some bullshit somewhere else. I'm not saying that Rogan's the only fucking place to learn something, but I'm just saying, like, okay, if that's the number one podcast, what's the number two? They're not getting that many,
right?
You know.
Well, you hear this terminology a lot, especially when it comes to news, and I think fucking all news, doesn't matter which side, it's as fake to a degree, but you always hear the phrase fair and biased, right? Is there a single
fair and unbiased?
I'm sorry, fair and unbiased is what I meant to say. Is there a single media platform out there that you can think of that is fair and unbiased, including Rogan?
I mean,
is
he biased? I don't know. What would make biased, though?
If you had to describe Rogan, would you say he's more to the right or more to the left? I would say he's more to the right. So is that biased?
I know, but it is just because he has like these. Yes and no, though. I mean, he definitely sounds more right, but he's left of right.
Yeah,
you know
for sure.
I mean? He's a little left of right.
He would never describe himself, I don't think, ever as like a Republican or as never. He's a liberal, basically.
That's what he says, a classical liberal, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not enough. Not the people aren't getting the right message.
I should say libertarian, right? No.
I don't know. Well, I listen. I think I really like the libertarian views and this and that, but like, what are we doing here? You're just wasting your fucking. It's just a waste. It's a waste. It's never going anywhere.
I know, but were we designed to be a two-party system?
You know Dave Smith.
Dave Smith,
he's a comedian. He's like a big libertarian, and I really like his. He's a smart dude, super smart. Does debates with people all the time. He's down. He's like, I'll debate, and he wins a lot of them. He's a Jewish guy, and he actually debated someone on the Israel-Palestine conflict, not for Palestine side, but just for like history. He didn't just go the Israel side, you know. So he's like very unbiased. He's an unbiased guy, but he's a libertarian, and he wants no police, no nothing, you know. We should have him on a podcast.
I'd love to. Yeah. I'd love to. I didn't mean to go down any sort of political road with this. I really wanted to keep it focused on you, and we can kind of wrap this up. But I just wanted to say the most sincere congratulations to you, brother. Well deserved. Totally due. It's great to see that your peers give you the respect. Your fans obviously give you the respect. The powers that be, your bosses, if you will, give you the respect, and that was just great to see, man. And I'm always your biggest fan, your biggest supporter, even though you're a fucking douchebag to me. So happy to see it, man. So congratulations to you.
No, thank you, man. It was like I said, super surprising, super welcoming. I'm happy. I'm happy. I am. I don't, like you said, I kind of not the big attention guy. I'm not this, I'm not that. But yeah, I am very grateful. I'm grateful that I got recognized for this, for sure.
Yeah. Well done, brother. Well done, brother.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Appreciate you, my man. So,
man.
Champ of the Tramp, guys. Check us out. Guys, just a reminder, don't forget to find and follow us on YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and most other podcast platforms.